How's it going, everyone? It's Hacks. I wanted to provide a follow-up video to my video from the other day. To recap, that was a video which updated people on where I plan to take my life from here. In response to that video, I got a lot of DMs asking me what I thought about my band situation, and deep down, that is what I really want to talk about. As we all know, Melee has been my passion in life for nearly 2 decades, and there are no words to describe the degree to which the way that I've been getting myself banned over the course of the past 3 years has devastated my life. This first happened in 2021 when I was banned for an initial series of misconduct, and then recently in 2024 I was actually rebanned. The reban was not publicized to nearly the same degree as the initial ban, but I just want to clarify that that is something that happened. And I have just been endlessly disappointed in myself ever since this happened, because I was actually on a great track to recovering a Melee career and a pretty decent position within the community. 2023 was fantastic. I went to a good amount of tournaments. I made a lot of new friends, and I had a good trajectory going for me. And then early this year, I blew it. The first thing I want to clarify, because this is something that people don't actually know, is that the way in which I got myself banned earlier this year had to do with what I valued deep down at the time. Deep down, I'd say I had a huge ego, and I did not want to concede to the fact that anything that I had done a couple of years prior was wrong in the slightest. Deep down at the time, I still wanted to try to justify my actions and get the last word in with the general public. And so on January 21st of this year, I uploaded a video called January 2024 Ban Appeal, in which I basically defended some of the rhetoric from a few years prior. In retrospect, I should not have done this. I was playing games with my career, and given the thin ice that I was already on, this absolutely wasn't the right move. Some TOs reached out to me and they said, right after I made that video, they told me, you just made everybody's lives harder because you were on a good track toward getting unbanned, and then you just had to go and do this. And I've spent every single second of my life in regret ever since that decision. That decision was what resulted in me being permanently banned, and as it stands, the only way that you can beat a permanent ban is by compelling others to overturn it. And so, given how much I've done for this game and how much I've dedicated my life to this game, I'm going to plead a case for a lighter sentence today. I'm going to plead a case explaining what things would look like if I were to be given one last chance going forward. I know that I've caused a lot of damage to the scene, and some people feel as though I don't deserve any more chances, and at this point, that's fairly understandable. But deep down, I know that I would bring good things to the scene if there were to be one final redemption arc, and so I just want to pour my heart out, as I mentioned. So I'll start by explaining that I think everything that happened over the course of these past few years was incredibly out of character with who I truly am. If you want to know who I really am, I'm someone whose passion in life is to advance Melee and better its community. But if you look at the things I did these past few years, I gave people a lot of reason to believe the exact opposite about myself. I was actually a fairly toxic and negative entity over the course of these past few years due to the harassment that I incited. And it was such a deviation from the excellent things that I had done for the community from roughly 2017 and onward. Back then, I did things like develop the box. I helped set up a local tournament series here in New York. I made tons of detailed educational videos. And then for that person to suddenly 180 into initiating harassment with his platform is just a terrible decision. It's not the note that I want this story of mine to end on. I absolutely do want another shot, and I'd be willing to wait however long it takes to get that final chance, because I wouldn't let people down in the event that it were to happen. So I'd like to start by clarifying what my ideals are going forward. The first priority of mine would be to disassociate myself completely from drama tubers who look to incite harassment on the internet. I think that's something that people were counting on me to do for an awfully long time, and I never fully understood the importance of it. But as we all know, I became affiliated with those types of people, and that is very much so the opposite of what I'd like to do within the Melee community. I'd like to do exactly what I just mentioned, which is redirect my brand back toward what it was once best at, which was advancing the game and making the community a better place. I now fully understand that when you facilitate a hostile environment around yourself, that it makes things worse for everybody. Perfect example of that would be when I issued a tweet right before the Big House 11. Before the Big House 11, I issued a tweet which simply explained that I missed being able to attend these types of events. Now, I made that tweet with purely good intentions, but due to the hostile environment which was surrounding me at the time, it actually seems to have incited death threats. It seems to have created actual problems at that event. And it was my responsibility to nip that type of thing in the bud. So I'd like to clarify that from here on out, whenever I make a tweet or any type of social media upload, please don't associate it with that type of hostile environment any further, because I very much so want to be a part of the community again. I don't want to be a part of this alt-right community that exists outside of it, because I feel as though it's an embarrassment for me to be affiliated with those people. And I'm sorry to everyone who was counting on me to do better, because I am better than that. Aside from that, I think a really good move to truly put an end to this would actually be for Leffen and I to get on good terms. One of the biggest regrets I have about me getting myself rebanned is that I wasn't able to catch him at Battle of BC6. Battle of BC6, from what I can tell, was his last tournament, his last Melee tournament of the year. And as that tournament was going on, I was just thinking to myself that had I not gotten myself rebanned, I could have potentially seen Leffen in real life and gotten on better terms with him. Now, I think the best way to really quell this hostile environment that I've incited would be for the two of us to get on good terms, which is something that we tried to do in the past because, him and I have had a rivalry for a long time, but we did nip things in the bud at one point around the time of the Big House 4. And I regret not keeping that going, because I think just maintaining peace between the two of us really would be the best thing. And so I'd like to extend the olive branch by letting him know that this feud for me is in the past. I want better things for both of us going forward, and I'm sorry for the troubles that I caused him and the community as well by inciting this entire saga. Aside from that, I have been making efforts to better myself in other ways. One of the things that I've been transparent with people about throughout this chapter of my life is that I do live with post-traumatic stress disorder. I've been visiting a psychiatrist and I've been prescribed medication, which has been helping me tremendously. And so I'm excited to show people how I've been progressing in that regard. Furthermore, as I mentioned in my video from the other day, I am looking to broaden my skill set into technical jobs. And so I'm becoming a more well-rounded individual. And so all in all, I think that these types of life changes will actually translate to more success within the Melee community if I'm to be offered one last chance. Aside from that, I don't really know what to do other than beg people to actually offer me that final opportunity. I've tried my hardest to help people during times of need throughout my career. Currently, I'm the one who's truly in a time of need because I have made some very serious mistakes. But what I want people to know is that these mistakes really aren't reflective of my character, and that in the event that I can be rescued from this terrible situation that I'm in, that I would be indebted I'd be indebted for life to the Melee community, and I'd look to make it up to the community however I can down the road. With that being said, I just want to express how much I truly love this community and how sorry I am that I presented myself in the manner that I did to the public over the course of these past few years. I truly aspire to redeem myself before anything else in life and to regroup with my friends and be able to enjoy attending Melee events with them once again. I'm sorry that I haven't been the most positive influence out there over the course of these past few years, but I know that given the lessons that I've learned, that I'm well poised to do better going forward. And so I really hope that people can empathize with the position that I'm in, because I'll make it up to you all if that final chance comes. I'm not asking for it to come today or tomorrow. I fully understand if it takes some time, but I just hope that the permanent aspect of my ban can be reconsidered in the event that I can display good behavior. The way that I plan to do that is through a ton of Twitch streaming. You'll be able to catch me on that platform almost every day from here on out. And I just hope that people are able to see that I'm still a positive influence, and that's the only thing that I plan to do going forward. So once again, thank you for taking the time to review this video. One last shot would mean the whole entire world to me, and much love to the Melee community.